of Sir Optimus International of Cambridge.
We're an organization that's dedicated to improving the lives of girls and women locally, nationally, and internationally.
We help establish new programs, assistance for education, and financial assistance to help women improve their lives and career opportunities.
Dream It Be It is a program specifically dedicated to helping high school girls get access to career education, resources, and mentors who can help to guide them through their career journey.
We know that 2020 and onward has been really difficult for everybody, difficult for us too. We know it's also hard to look at the future for your career when you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Sometimes you just need to take a step back and have some fun too. We all
need to feel good about ourselves during COVID. We want to give you a chance to forget about things that are going on right now.
Many amazing women have volunteered their time to talk about their career journeys.
They've also given us videos and some fun activities ranging from no baking, yoga, relaxation techniques, makeup, and skincare and exercise.
Gather your friends, virtually for now, and try out some of the activities together. Have some fun. We want to help you feel good about yourself during COVID. Hello, my name is Kashala, and today we're here with Michelle de Jong from Limitless Performance. She is the co-founder of this organization, and she's here to talk to us a little about her career and her path towards the career she's in presently. So welcome and thank you for being here today, Michelle.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Look forward to chatting.
We look forward to hearing your story. So Michelle, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? What is the path that you took towards your career? Because you are quite young, but you've done a lot in your life, and I would love to hear your story.
Yes, my story is a bit complicated in terms of I didn't have, that quite solid line to where I am today. So I went to school at Forest Heights Collegiate. So that's where I started high school. And going into high school, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. So I argued with my parents a lot. I always wanted to be right. And I just thought, you know what? I have the personality for it. I should be a lawyer. And then I got into high school, and that sort of idea kind of overwhelmed me a little bit. It seemed a little bit too structured and too serious for me. So I had kind of changed my mind and thought that being a very high-powered businesswoman was the job for me. So in high school, that's kind of was my goal. So I took all of the courses that enabled me to apply for business at university. And that was sort of where I started with my path in high school. And then graduated from high school. I got accepted at the University of Waterloo to their arts and business program. And I also got recruited for their hockey team there. So it was kind of it was a win-win. The choice was simple. I was getting into a great school. I got to play on the hockey team, and I also got to stay at home. And that was something that saved some money a little bit. So those are kind of the three reasons that pulled me to the University of Waterloo. And I started there in the arts and business program and decided to major in psychology to give me that. I was still in the business mindset, and I wanted to learn how to be a leader, more of the human resources side of psychology to go with the business side of that program as well. So got deep into that, and I was lucky enough to be involved in the co-op program as well. So had some lots of incredible experience every year. I think it started in my first summer. So it was a 5-year program instead of a 4-year program. So you kind of had to do that extra year, but definitely worth it. Some of the skills that I learned from my various jobs, I still use today. So I was lucky enough to get a great position for co-op at BlackBerry, and went back a few times, and I ended up getting a full-time job there at the end of my end of university. So pretty lucky, developed great skills through that program, and then got a full-time job within that business realm that I was talking about. So sort of was on my career path, going in that straight line, and then bam. My husband, we were just newly married, and he had just finished school. We both were sort of in that next steps of our lives, and he came to me and he wanted to start a fitness facility. So
Wow, that's a change. Okay.
yeah, it seems out of the ordinary, but fitness and sort of training for sport was very ingrained in who we were. My husband also was a hockey player and went to college in the US for hockey. So training for sport and working out was like in our blood. We loved it. We did it together in the summer. At this particular time, I was also training girls hockey teams. So like we were involved. We were doing a lot of stuff within the fitness world. But I would have never anticipated sort of that question to pretty much eventually quit our jobs and start something new. So so he asked me this in June of one year, and by September we had bought a space totally. We had to gut it, we had to build bathrooms, we had to outfit the space, and we were starting our first classes in September. So it was kind of a whirlwind of a transformation. I was still at the time, until we sort of got our business up and running, I was still working BlackBerry full time, and he was running the business full time, and then I was helping out where I could. So kind of a roundabout way to get into my field, but it was definitely a cool ride, and brought a lot of the skills that I learned from sort of my previous experience into owning a business.
Okay, so you had arts and business. So how did you and you did the psychology. So do you
Yes.
find those things all kind of help you in your, like, you do training, I'm assuming, like, do you do fitness training, or do you just manage the business? What
I,
exactly
yeah, good
do you do?
question.
Yeah.
Um, I do a lot of different things. Wear a lot of hats. I coach our fitness classes, and I do anything from marketing to our finances, um, communication, all sorts of different things within the business. I
Mhm.
would say um, a lot of the things I learned, especially within my co-op experience, I was able to bring over to um, owning a business, because lots of times when you own your business, you don't really have that person to go to or to ask questions.
Mhm.
Things are getting a lot better now with coaches available for entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But it's hard to know what to focus on, and there were a lot of skills that I learned from that I brought forward into this career.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of co-op jobs did you have that you thought led or helped you? Just
Yeah,
curious.
great question. I had a job at the University of Waterloo at the Arts Computing Office. So what we did is we helped with so many different cool things. We helped put software on professors' computers. We re-imaged computers. We got to build small websites. So there were a lot of, and the coolest part of this job was that I got to teach Excel courses to some professors. So I had to learn, I was decent at Excel, but
Yeah.
I had to learn the ins and outs in order to teach it. So that was one of the biggest skills I learned, and now I use it all the time from that job. So that was one job that really gave me some skills. Another one, I worked for a small business where I got to really see firsthand how a small business works, and I got to do a lot of their bookkeeping. So sort of understanding the back end of a little bit of the finances and what that looks like. And then the third job that I would say gave me the most experience would be my BlackBerry co-op job as well. I had an amazing team that I worked for. My boss was an incredible businesswoman, and she inspired me to um, to be a better employee, and I really looked up to her as in, okay, who do I want to be when I'm a boss, and when I become a mentor too. So I would say those are my three jobs that really gave me some tools to use later on in my career.
So that is an amazing. That's great advice. I did co-op as well when I was in
Mhm.
university, and I think for me, and I know I'm hearing from you as well, is that it really gave you a look into the different fields, in addition to the skills which you gained, which are all helpful. It kind of that's a good way to try out a job almost.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, and because you're only there for a short period of time, you can potentially go back, but it's a cool way to just get in there, get your feet wet, and see if it's something that you enjoy.
So I think you would definitely recommend that for any girl in
Definitely, hands down, that was one of the best experiences that I had at university for sure.
That's wonderful. I don't know if you know this, but they do offer co-ops now in high school. So I think that's something we didn't have, and I think it would have been a great um, opportunity for anyone if you're thinking about or wondering what you want to do. So
Right,
it's
because
really a great
that
journey.
age,
Mhm.
you're making the decisions at this point. So why not get out there and see as much as you can?
It's a great thing. I really appreciate the fact that you did take a little journey, and I mean you took
Yes.
quite a different you took quite a different journey,
Wasn't quite a
but
straight line, but we got here.
yeah, but you got there, and I think that's important for people to realize that sometimes it isn't a straight road. I mean, sometimes it is. If you want to be a doctor, this is what you do, and if you're going to stay with doctor, you do that. But not everybody wants to be those typical jobs that are amazing, but they're not necessarily the route they want to do, right? So you're happy, and that's great.
Yes. And
Yeah,
it's okay to change your mind.
it's okay to change your
You
mind.
don't have to be on that one path your whole life.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. So tell me, what is a typical day in your workday?
Okay, so if we were thinking when we're open and a normal
Yes, the
normal day.
typical Norwood non-COVID, turn on the computer in your pajama pants. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what you do in a typical
Okay,
non-COVID.
normal day in the fitness industry, we always start early. So um if you're thinking about the fitness industry, be ready for that. Our our alarm goes off at 3:45, and we don't have to get, the nice part about the fitness industry is you don't have to get too fancy. So I put on my pair of Lululemon pants and a top, and pretty much ready to go. So out the door by 4:15 and at our facility by 4:30. And what we'll do is we get our space ready for our first workout, first class of the day,
Mhm.
to make sure we got all the equipments lined up and we've got everything on and organized and ready to go.
Mhm.
So depending on the day and depending on what classes I'm coaching, um, I'll either be coaching in the morning or doing some behind the scenes work. So let's say it's a non-coach in the morning day. What I would do is my husband or another coach would be coaching those classes.
Mhm.
I would head into the office, do, like I mentioned, anything from working on our systems to building some business, finances, working on some team stuff. So I would do that for about 2 hours. And then around 7, potentially I would coach a few classes. So um, within the day, I would maybe coach 2 to 3 workouts, have a private session with someone, and then the rest would be more of that business side of work. My goal is every day to try and be done at 4 p.m. That is definitely hit or miss. Sometimes things can come up and you just don't get everything done that you want to get done. But that's my goal, 4 p.m. and then try and have dinner ready to rock by 5. So dinner at 5, we have a dog, a Vizsla. So we take her out for a nice walk after dinner. And then at 7 p.m., we try and wind down, maybe do a little bit of stretching, relaxing. And then 7:30 p.m., yes, I know it's early, but that's when we head up to bed. Um,
You wake up at 3:45.
try,
I get it. I get it.
try and get that 8 hours in um, of sleep.
It's important to be healthy. Absolutely.
That's kind of what, if I can say a typical day looks like, a typical day looks like.
Okay. Tell me, what about your job brings you joy? What brings you joy in your job?
Definitely the people. Um, Being a coach, especially in the fitness industry, we
Mhm.
get to see transformations within people. And I'm not just talking about, yes, we get to see transformations of body types and that sort of thing, but truly transformations within. People are gaining confidence. They're um, coming to the gym, building this self-esteem. They can feel like they can take on sort of anything um, that comes their way. It's sort of their, like, it feels like we're giving them a little bit of a superpower to um, take on whatever they want. So definitely seeing that confidence boost in people
Mhm.
is definitely the biggest joy that I get.
I love that. Yeah, that's important.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question that I know a lot of girls are going to ask this question.
Yes.
What are the opportunities and financial stability in the fitness field?
Um, I would say in the fitness field, entrepreneurship in uh, any field, not just the fitness industry, is never as stable as you hope. Um, Various times of the year, things can be different, right? You're not just going to a job where you're just getting a paycheck every week. Your paycheck depends on how well your business is doing. So if things aren't going very well, then maybe your financial income is affected.
Mm.
Um, so I would say within any entrepreneur type business, there's definitely not that stability that you would get working for someone else. Potentially, I know there's always um, they're saying potentially now that there's not quite as much stability in those roles as there used to be. Um, but the cool part is the harder you work and the more time and effort you put in, you get rewarded. So if you want to work hard, um, you truly see that in And smart. I mean, you can work hard, but you need to also work hard and smart to see those financial um, benefits.
I know you mentioned earlier to me, we were talking that you need to build a good client base of people who are loyal to you, and that's really important in your field, is it? So being a people person, being good
Yes,
with people, yeah,
yes.
you can't be mean and expect people to come back.
Correct. You know what? I'm a little feisty when it comes to coaching,
Mhm.
but definitely I mean well, and we're we're there for the right reason. So definitely being a good leader, leading by example, for sure is something that people um, like to look up to.
Okay. Well, and leading into that, you mentioned something that I thought was interesting. I'd like the girl to hear more about it. You mentioned that you, in your co-op, you had someone you were able to sort of look up to and mentor.
Mhm.
Other than that time, and also please do tell me more about that. Other than that time, did you have a mentor through high school or university? And can you tell me about that experience?
Um, I would definitely say the one that Petra that I mentioned earlier. She has made the biggest impact. Um, within within high school, I would say mostly just my coaches within my sport were definitely big mentors to me.
Mhm.
But if I can look back and see one thing that maybe I could have done better as an individual that might have helped me sort of understand what my interests were in terms of career path. Um, I think having more mentors would have been um, very beneficial. Uh, I just had them within, I would say, within sport, and it would have been advantageous to sort of go outside of the box
Mhm.
and have some more mentors from that career path and um, sort of life perspective.
Yeah. So definitely, it's something that would have helped just to give a little advice, I think. And I know that you're part of our program because we actually in Cambridge, Ontario, we are unique with our program that we do during non-COVID times pair you up with a female mentor with other girls to be able to ask the questions. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's this kind of being able to ask questions and the real story behind
Exactly.
everything. You know, it's not always wonderful and perfect. The job is a job some days, and you want to hear that. And you
The
know,
good
and
and the bad.
what's that?
The good and the
The
bad.
good and the bad, the open, the honest, the down and dirty. I get it. Like some days you're gonna be bored at your job, and some days you're gonna be excited. That's life. So it's really nice to be able to talk to someone about that.
Exactly.
Before I let you go today, I'm gonna hold you for more questions.
Okay.
Um, what is some advice you would give young women today about their careers, about life, about what to do during these times right now? This last year has been difficult, but if you could give people a piece of advice, girls, a piece of advice about what to do in life, what would you say?
I would say, looking back on my life and what I've learned from over the past few years is I was afraid to fail before. I was afraid to uh, to not be the best. And if I could give a piece of advice, it would be to embrace the failure. And it is okay to fail. And these are the times that we are going to learn and grow and um, become a better person. And that's when we can become unstoppable, when we give ourselves that opportunity to grow.
I love that. Thank you. Really appreciate your time. Um, in addition to this amazing talk and giving us some advice, Michelle has actually put together a video for you. It is 5 minutes of warm up, 5 minutes of the conditioning, and 5 minutes of strength.
You
So
got
it's
it.
and might even survive it, right?
Fun
So
to do
I
it.
can do it. But she's been kind enough to volunteer to do that for us. So if you stay tuned, you can actually watch that video, grab some friends virtually, and try out her video, and feel good about yourself today. Okay. Well, thanks
Yes.
so much again, and we'll see you soon.